Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and here we explore the world of fountain pens, ink, and paper. And today, as you can see, it is a fountain pen day. This is the latest addition to the Jinhao Dadao line, and this is the 9013. You may recognize it from such past successes as the Dadao 9019, which we'll compare it to here in just a little bit. That big pen made quite a splash, and Jinhao has followed up with a medium-sized and now a smaller-sized offering so that everybody can kind of find their Goldilocks-sized Dadao pen. Now, there are some other differences in this pen that we will look at as I do this review and comparison, and some things that I like, and maybe a thing that I don't like that I definitely want to bring to your attention just so that you know what you're getting into. So, let's spin that camera and take that closer look. If the electricity will stay on, because we're having a few storms in the area, we'll try and get this video done. It's the second time that I've tried to do this video. First the mic went out, now the electricity's blinking. I may have to give up. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is that Dadao, and here is the design. Very simple top. It's a cigar-shaped pen. There is a dimple up here at the top finial. At the bottom there is a dimple as well, and this one is a safety breather hole. I'm assuming that's about child safety. So if you want to eyedropper this, you will have to seal that, but that can be done, and it's a fairly simple thing to make work, and I think you'd end up with a great eyedroppable pen if you do that effectively. We had that very familiar clip with the BB end. Jinhao there. This one's kind of stiff, stiffer than the other two pens that I have that are Dadao's, but very functional, works great, and this one is a more pocketable pen, a little bit easier to carry. Not all shirt pockets, men's shirt pockets, are as deep as they used to be for whatever reason, and so a smaller pen might work better in that case. Coming down to that trim ring, which is the only other adornment besides the clip, and it says Jinhao and Dadao, and it does have the number 9013 there with the model. Nice and plain, and I like that. Kudos to Jinhao for making it easy to identify what model number pen we've got, because there are lots of pens and lots of numbers, and honestly, they kind of just jumble up in the head every now and then. Take that cap off, and it's going to take you 1, 2 1/4 turns, and then it's going to post very securely. Now, right now, you don't hear anything, but my one gripe with the pen, I said there was going to be one. My one gripe with the pen is that it does rattle. You hear that? The pen rattles, and when it didn't have ink in it, it rattled even worse. So be aware of that. That may make you want to use cartridges, and it can use cartridges. It is a 2.6 millimeter Chinese standard pen, but it can also use international standards, no problem. So next we come to the nib, and there's two things to know about this. It is a number 6 steel nib. Jinhao does a good job with those generally. I find many of them write well out of the box, and if they need tuning, it's usually not that big a deal. This one also, though, is that wonderful new medium. They updated a lot of their nibs, and their mediums have been really good lately, and this one is no exception. And it's the new heartbeat nib. You see that there? That is a current trend in Chinese pens, and Wing Sung and Jinhao are on that bandwagon, and it works just fine. If you're wondering about the flow, if you haven't used one before, it's working great. You'll see that in the test. You'll see it in the speed test. I've already speed tested the pen the first time that I recorded this, so I know that it functions well, and not bad at all. Also, you'll be happy to know that any nib that swaps with other Jinhao number 6s, like the X350, 850, the Jinhao 100, is going to be able to swap out in this one as well. So that also gives you options going forward. Now, when you open up that barrel, you're going to be happy to find there is a silicone O-ring. What you might not be as happy to find, though, is this is a big difference between this and the other two pens, is that this is just their standard converter. It doesn't have the normal black piston knob that theirs do, but every now and then they use these clear ones, and it's just a normal one. It doesn't screw in, and it doesn't have an increased capacity. It's just a standard converter, and I'm assuming that's because of the size of this pen and a more standard size of the converter collar here. So just standard capacity, but again, a really good pen. Now talk about ergonomics a little. The grip is a nice grip. It's not overly big, so if the 9019 was too big or even the 9016, you will like this. If you like a shorter pen than unposted, you're going to like this. Now, this is workable for me, but I talk with my hands. I don't know if you noticed that. And this happens if I'm talking with my hands, and that kind of would drive me a little nuts. So I'm going to do this posted, and then it's a great length. The way that they've smoothed that trim, it's not uncomfortable at all, and I found it a very comfortable pen to write with. There are threads here. There is a tiny step down. I found neither to be bothersome, and just a nice, comfortable writing pen. And I also found that it's not really so bad as far as back weightedness because of that shorter length, and again, just comfortable, although I would totally do that if I was actually writing, wouldn't you? Okay, and then it's a whole lot better. All right, let's look at the size of these three pens compared. So here's the 19, the 16, and the 13, and this one is just a ginormous pen. I love it too. Writes really well, has been very reliable for me, no dry out issues, and I love that oversized converter. And so I can't say enough good about that one, and the 8 size nib has written really well. I do really enjoy that 9016 as well. Just as reliable, just as nice to write with. Better if you don't like the really ginormous size of this. Not everybody does. They don't find that their grip is comfortable in that larger grip section. So this is a great middling pen for a lot of people. This one just makes for more options and a little bit handier pen. So whether you're somebody that's, you don't like the large, maybe you don't like the medium, so you'd like something smaller, or whether you're the kind of person that would like all three for different situations, I think they did a good job on all three of these. And then here they are unposted, and again, it's the same step down, and now you can see the grip size and the difference that there is, more dramatic between the 19 and the 16 than between the 16 and the 13, but that gives you some idea of the difference in sizes. And then here you have them posted, and you have that same dramatic difference as you step up to that big 9019. Then just a quick comparison to some other pens. This is how it stacks up to the Jinhao 82, the Platinum 3776, and the Jinhao 100. All right, I'm using Shoy paper, which is a notebook that I'm going to review fairly soon. Thought I would use this for our test today. I think that J is just a result of my having that cap off so long, dealing with setup, and again, I don't know if you can hear that thunder, but a little bit of a blink out of electricity. Good thing most of this is running on batteries. This is again a medium, number 6, and it is, of course, a steel nib. Wetness, not too bad, and I think you'll see that it keeps up just fine. Ink today, old ink. It's been around for quite a while, but new to me today is diamine. I think you can tell I've been on a little bit of a diamine kick for a while. Just find them well behaved and reliable, and I like them. I like their variety. And this is the Borealis, Aurora Borealis. Real popular ink, this one, isn't it? I find this writes really well, just right out of, I can't say out of the box, because it just came in a little pen-shaped Ziploc baggie, but yeah, I'm not paying any extra for packaging, but that's all right. Good bargain. I can do without extra packaging. Throwing too much of that away anyway. Just writes really, really well. Not just well for the money, it just writes really, really well. And I'm enjoying it. Every time I've written with this pen, and as I said, I've filmed this twice already and done some other writing, just really like it and just enjoy it. Almost had you there that you thought I was going to finally write that sentence. Not today. Let's do our speed test, all right? Again, this is in real time. And I just saw one little thing here. I think I turned. Just do it again. Yeah, this pen's writing great. And I just really enjoy it. The size is nice once it's posted. I think unposted, I might not enjoy it quite as much. That's just, ergonomics for different people, different grips, and different hands. But posted, this is really a comfortable pen to write with. And just like the other Dadao pens, it does punch above its weight. This one, I guess, since it's smaller, punches even more above its weight, isn't it? Really, really neat pen. Again, the rattle is going to bug some of you. I know that because even in, I don't remember if it was the 16 or the 19, but in one of those, I had more than one comment that yours rattled, and that kind of drove you a little bit batty. So know that this is going to be the same. There are ways to mitigate that. The easiest would be to use a cartridge, and since this does not have the oversized converter, that's not a feature of this pen, then maybe you'd be more willing to write with a cartridge in this one. Just refill it with your favorite ink. If you want to eyedropper it, well, that completely nixes that problem. You just have a sealing issue that you need to deal with. But, for the value that it is, I just think this is a good pen. And I don't know, I find it a really pleasant writing pen. And I like it. And I like that it comes with a little heartbeat nib. That's not something that I was going to seek out on my own, but it was what was available when I ordered this pen. And I'm actually impressed that it keeps up as well as it does. I don't know why I was concerned that there could be ink starvation. There's not, and naturally there wouldn't have to be. But it's doing fine. Doing just fine. And I think a lot of you are really going to like this pen. But what do you think? What's your perfect size? Does this scratch and itch that you had, is the lack of the oversized converter, and it's not a screw-in converter either like the other two, is that a deal breaker? Or is it just a disappointment? Or is it fine? Do you not care at all? Share that in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And God bless you, and have a wonderful week.